Welcome, Year Sevens, to our our first lesson in the next unit. We're going to be looking at over the next couple of weeks. Should take us up till the end of this term. Takes us up to about Easter time. We're going to be looking at the kings following William. We're going to be looking at the kings and the early medieval period between William and the period afterwards. So our Star Trek activity today, look at this man here. Who is this? Who do you think this man is? Have a little bit of a look at this character. Answer some questions down here on the left-hand side. Who do you think this man is? Who is he? Why do you think he might be famous? And can you think of any films or stories that this character might have been in? And where is this statue located? So pause the video here, okay? And then when you're ready, when you've answered these questions, move on. So this is the statue of King Richard I, otherwise known as King Richard the Lionheart, okay? And this statue can be found outside the House of Parliament. It is King Richard's triumphant return to England from the Holy Land, from his crusades in the Holy Land, that brings the Robin Hood story to a happy end, okay? So today's lesson objectives. Today we're going to be finding out who the real King Richard was. Who was he really? Is he this man here? Is he the man we see at the end of Robin Hood? Okay, or was he somebody else? Was he something else? And then we're looking to evaluate how history has represented Richard. Okay, so first things first then, let's have a quick look. There's a video clip here that I'd like you to have a go at watching. I'm gonna bring up on YouTube in a minute, okay? I can't play back the sound because I'm currently recording through my microphone. So I need to copy and paste this address into your browser to have a look. And then once you've watched this video clip, it's a couple of minutes long, okay? Answer these questions here. How does Sean Connery portray Richard? And do you think this is an accurate answer? So we have got here video clip which I saved. So that's it there. Okay. If you type in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves wedding scene, it's about 2 minutes long. Okay, there is the clip that you need to do. So pause this, watch this here. Like I said, I would play it for you, but unfortunately you won't be able to hear it because it won't come through my microphones. Okay, so that's it. That's what you want, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and that's the YouTube clip here. Okay, so pause the video, answer these questions, come back when you're ready. Historian Steve Runciman. He was a bad son, a bad husband, a bad king, but he was a gallant and splendid soldier. Okay, so this is what a historian, a man called Steve Runciman, had to say about Richard. A bad son, a bad husband, a bad king, but a gallant and splendid soldier. And remember, we're talking about a time, not long really, only about sort of 100 years after William. We're talking about a time when what made a good king was the ability to strap on a shield and a sword, jump on a horse, and take the war to your enemy, yeah? That was what people at that time thought made a good king. So, what we need to be thinking about now is what standards are we judging Richard by? Okay, are we judging him by standards today, or are we judging by him standards at the time? So Resource sheet 1, you can find this resource sheet attached to the show my homework piece of work that I've set for you. Okay, so either copy this table into your exercise books, okay, or print off the worksheets, up to you. Once you've got this table, okay, you need to fill in. Think about what sort of a king does each of these sources suggest Richard was. So first of all, if we think about that statue right at the beginning of the lesson, so this statue here, look at him. Okay, what kind of a king does this statue represent? Okay, then the film clip from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and then finally this view here. Okay, so you've got 3 different points of view, 3 different sources portraying Richard slightly differently. Okay, what sort of a king does it suggest, does each one of these sources suggest Richard was? Okay, pause the video here and complete this work. So all of the views we have seen so far are interpretations, different ways of interpreting a person in history. They're different views, and the reality is each one of these different interpretations, they're not contemporary primary sources from the time. They have been created since Richard. Okay, they're all different points of view that look at Richard slightly differently, but look at him going back into the past. So what we now need to try and work out is who was the real Richard the Lionheart. Okay, who was he really? Was he, yeah, the smoky Sean Connery character at the end of Robin Hood? That was my Sean Connery accent, by the way, very badly done. I do apologise for that. I'm not even going to try doing it again. You know, was he this triumphant man wandering out on his horse outside the House of Parliament? Or was he Steve Runciman's bad son, bad husband, and a bad king, that gallant and splendid soldier? Okay, who was this real man? So what we need is, okay, first of all, we need to try and work out what makes a good king. All right, what makes a good king? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause the video here and to go away and create a mind map. So I've actually, what I've done is I've got some new mind mapping software which I've installed. Hopefully this is going to work for me here now. Okay. Oh, there we go. So I've got my circle I'm going to create here. Okay, let's just go back. Oh, there we go. We've got good king. Okay, so like I've done here, okay, but slightly more professionally, okay, is so, you know, we could say he could be kind, okay, could be a warrior, okay, not particularly well done, let's get rid of that, a warrior. There we go, not bad. All right, so those are just 2 examples. You can use those, but I want you to come up with at least 4 or 5, okay, as many as you can think of, all right? So pause the video here, have a go at this, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so now that we've established what we think a good king is, or what makes a good king, let's have a look at some sources then, let's look at some real history on who Richard really was. So you can find resource sheet 2. Again, this is attached to your show my homework. So he was tall, handsome, and fluent in French. Why was he fluent in French? Well, not surprisingly, being a direct descendant of William the Conqueror, he spoke French and would not have spoke English. English would not have existed back then. All right. There was no. So Sean Connery, with his delicious Scottish accent, but nevertheless still speaking English, couldn't be farther from the truth. Yes, tall, handsome, strong, athletic, but French and very French. Yeah. And so he was part of a failed plot to remove his own father, okay, begged his father to forgive him. He was Duke of Gascony, yeah. In reaction to the cruelty of his reign, there was a series of revolts. He sided with the King of France to take the English throne by force, okay. And during Richard's reign, hundreds of Jews were murdered. He did not speak English and described England as cold and always raining. Well, you can't blame him for that. The man certainly tells the truth. If telling the truth with a good kingly quality, then he certainly qualifies there. And he would have sold London if he could have found a buyer. And he only spent 6 months of his 10-year reign in England. In 1190, he swore an oath to give up his evil ways and become a good Christian. So the Pope would allow him to go on crusade. He spent all of his father's money, sold land and positions to fund his crusade. His soldiers were well trained and well equipped, and he was very popular with the army. He was a tough soldier, okay? During the siege of Jerusalem, although he was sick with scurvy, he lay on his stretcher and fired his crossbow at Saracen guards on the city's walls. So he rescued Jerusalem from the Saracens. Okay, I'm not quite sure about that use of the word rescued there. He certainly took the city of Jerusalem from the Saracens, but then killed thousands of prisoners. He managed to make a deal allowing Christian pilgrims to visit Jerusalem in safety. He captured Cyprus and massacred thousands of people. However, the island then became an important base for all future crusades. So now this particular table, this chart, take a whole A4 page. If you're writing out of a little exercise book, do it across 2 little exercise book pages. You've got a whole A4. Or if you've got one of the larger exercise books, then it just needs to be 1 page, or do it on some lined A4 at home. Okay. So create this chart here, okay, in your book. And then what you're going to want to do, okay, is plot various points on the chart, on the graph, all right? Okay, so if we go to, for instance, okay, number 1, he was tall, handsome, and fluent in French. So if you think, right, that makes him an okay king. Here we go, 1 there, all right? So if you think he was part of a failed plot to remove his own father, if you think that makes him a bad king, then we're going to put across number 2 here. And in the end, what you want to do is once you have got 1 all the way through to 14, so with 1, okay, bring this pen up again, so 1 all the way through to 14, okay, so 7 being the middle, blah, 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 all the way through up to 13, 14, 2, etc. Okay, so what you want to end up with in the end is a wiggly line. So actually connect the crosses on your chart once you have done it. Okay. So once you have completed this, hopefully you'll have some kind of an assessed understanding of the kind of person that Richard was. Your final task for today's session is to go back to the Robin Hood clip and watch it again. Okay. And then think about, was he a good king or not? What kind of a king was he? So think about the graph that you created. using the resource sheet too. And I want you to have a go at creating a different ending for Robin Hood. Now you can write this as a piece, written piece, okay? Or if you're feeling more creative, you could do it as a little cartoon strip, okay? Or if you really want, okay, to try and push your learning and go a little bit sort of multi-disciplinary and go across, if you're doing computer studies or medias, you could even try it as an animation. You can try doing it as an animation, okay, and record it and then email it to me, okay. So, but otherwise, okay, however you're going to do it, that rounds off the lesson today. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed it.